Alex, and nice to hear from the couch in spite of its obvious lack of cultural diversity. I think we're still doing all right. We're going to go into the second map here, which is going to be Mirage. How do you feel about this one, Samler?
I kind of have to get on the hype train here for Fnatic.
You're on the hype. Everybody's on this.
I mean, I'm just going to buy a ticket right now, and you know, it doesn't seem like TQM have figured out how to get around the mental block that they have when it comes to just locking down halves, locking down rounds, must-win rounds.
I'll say this. I mean, in the break here, they were discussing that first map a little bit more than I wanted them to. Like, it's fine to sort of bring up some points and say, you know, oh, I wish we could have done this differently, or I think you guys are holding this position wrong. But after like half a minute, you've got to be like, come on, next map is up. Now, how do we beat them? Otherwise, things just get weird. So,
and you're talking about question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a real cause for concern because in general, you know, European teams are very good about, you know, just putting the map out of their heads. They'll talk about it later when it's time to review demos, to have like the tournament breakdown. You have to focus on that next map. You have to just, if you lost it, you got to put it out of your head. If you won it, you got to put it out of your head because you got to get the job done here. And you know, it's not all about playing ring around the rosy, as we see. What is this? All right. There we go. So Fnatic certainly going to start on that CT side as well. So it's not going to get any easier here for question mark. This is where it starts to get real rough because Fnatic had a pretty solid side on the solid time on their CT side. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Crims is a monster still.
I actually think this is not the worst thing that could happen to them. I think they've got a good idea about how to play this hero side here.
Okay.
Question mark. So I think this is all right. I am curious to see if they figured out a way to deal with Olaf on this map. I know they've got a good way of locking down the middle, so on the other hand, Fnatic, they've been faced with this way of locking down middle for a while, as have a lot of other teams, so we'll see how it's going to play out here. Second map up, Fnatic with a one-map lead, and if you're just joining us here, we're at the semi-finals of the Pro League, so it's going to get interesting. Smokes, there are 2 of them on question mark side. That suggests a heavy execute, and we've got the raid boss build on device as well. They're setting up for something real here.
That's really interesting, yeah. And they have a couple of flashes. Smokes go out, no time wasted at all. Cajun and Dupree pressing through mid. Kerrigan going to be getting into that underpass real quick here. And, well, they're making some noise over on the B side, trying to make this a little bit more difficult to judge here for Fnatic. And you see JW rotating back, getting into Electric. He's going to tighten up the defense here on A. Crimson Dennis still waiting around in CT, but Kerrigan doing a very good job of just diverting Fnatic, drawing the attention over to the B site.
What is this madness? They were in the smoke, both of them, and it turns out to be a trade. Dupree for JW. Now they're on the site. Device getting closer with the Tech 9. You've got to be careful. He's got armor as well. It has to be a headshot to bring him down. Otherwise, he's going to do too much damage. And actually, he has the bomb, and that's a big mistake. Why does he have the bomb when he has this kind of build? He's going to be able to put it down, but that could have been really risky. Now, Cajun being a big diversion here. Device landing a second kill as well. And now it's a 2-on-3, and they've got to scramble to get back in here. That kit is lost somewhere on the map. Nice headshot from Olofmeister. They're still running out of time, and there's the kit all the way in CT spawn. Flusher dies, and now Olaf, what could he possibly do? He goes down to Sip, and that's going to be a nice round here for question mark. Device with the triple.
And that's, I mean, Olaf hanging around so long for Cajun is interesting just because the bomb isn't planned for Cajun, but then Fnatic have no way of knowing that as well unless the Crims was able to communicate that info to them. So just all over the place, just battles basically going down. The hand gets forced though when they have to go for the kit. You're right, you know, Crims holding all the way back in CT like that. He gets caught so deep that it's just too difficult for Fnatic to come back into it. So now it is going to be Fnatic going for the Forest, and Olofmeister, no, Dennis rather, he's going to start off with the Deeg. And well, now you just can fall back and do what you want. No problem at all. You can definitely put the pressure on Question if you've already starting off here in this round with the man advantage. And Question don't really have a whole lot of nades to work with here either. They're really going to have to rely on the rifles to get the job done.
Not the kind of start you want if you're playing, you're a map down and you need the momentum here. But if they walk into A right now, this 1-5-7, it shouldn't be enough. Maybe a kill, but then the bomb goes down and the retake is going to be tough.
There's the rotation coming out from Dennis, though. So he's going to have that Deagle over here looking towards pit. Crims is watching apartments. And here's the trap. There it is. Dennis spots out the man. He doesn't spot the bomb quite yet, but that already sparks the rotation coming out from the players on B side. Olofmeister getting onto short, trying to lend a hand. Crims will take out Device, but then Zipnik wipes him out. And it comes down to now Dennis has to stay alive. All he has to do is stay alive, keep a little bit of pressure on here. He's got Flusha to back him as well. The pressure is definitely mounting here on Question. Can they get control of the situation? I think not. They're getting picked off one after another, and Xyp9x can't even get out of Palace.
Not a chance. Double with the scout. The Deagles pick it up as well. Huge round for Fnatic. And definitely a big shutdown here on the Danish side. That start there, Olaf shot as well with the Deagle. I think there was a guy jumping behind the box. This is such a sick shot. One, and, well, not even a bomb plant. They're going to go for a buy here with an AK on device. All right.
Okay, then. And he's going straight to pit. He's going to look for that early shot. He's going to take a nade to the face, but only takes about 17 damage, so it's not the end of the world there. And the smoke goes down to block him off as well. So not going to be too effective here, Device, with that AK. Comes down to the patience game, to the waiting game, hoping that somebody on Fnatic is going to get impatient and try and push forward to give him a free kill. Xyp9x up in Palace as well. He's waiting for the same thing, because the smoke still blocking him off from peeking onto that A site to find a pick.
They need Device to go big in this round. Xyp9x trying for a couple of shots through. Dennis replying, so gives up his position, but there's another 2 people on this bomb side. They've got a very strong setup to deal with any kind of push, and all Question Mark have to sort of zone them out with is a single smoke on Sip, and that's nowhere near enough. So Fnatic going to have a lot of openings to make this work. And
oops, I forgot the cough button.
It's all right, Semler. We'll be fine. 45 seconds left now, and Fnatic, they're quite content to just sit around like this. Device sneaking in, the AK in hand. He's got to be careful. He spots out Dennis and gets a free kill on him, but does he realize JW is right behind him? He doesn't, and JW picking up a double kill. UMP trades it out for an AK and goes for a shot on Sip. And this is looking good. Dupree getting 1 and 2, and now it actually might change around here. But only 20 seconds left, and this is not going to be easy.
What is this ridiculous situation? Another Deagle headshot for Dupree. And it's all on Flusha now. He's got 12 HP, so it doesn't matter. Headshot or not. And there we go. The falling shot onto Dupree. Big spray from him. And while it's all down to Xyp9x now, he's got a dig of his own. So that one shot is what he's going to need. And the bomb is planted for Courtyard as well, so it's not really going to be too pleasant here for Flusha. Xyp9x has changed up his position. He's playing to his strengths right now. One bullet onto Zip from this AK could do it. So he's trying to play a headshot angle at this point. Just play peekaboo on Flusha. And while Flusha's just going to go for the flat defuse, and Xyp9x is going to just take his time, go for the peek. There's the headshot, and what? There's actually time.
There is time.
Flusha,
what is this?
Flusha hits that shot.
And
yeah, nice shot. Instantly comes out. Nice shot.
And how does Sip not hit it? There are so many questions that need to be answered here.
This is ridiculous, yeah. How does that even happen, JW? But then Dupree, I mean, Dupree with the Deagle is ridiculous. How does he hit these headshots?
Wow, that's one of those soul-crushing rounds. But look at Question Mark. They get the bomb down, and they know they've done so much damage. They want to keep pushing it. This is also a sign that they realize if Fnatic get off to a good start here on this map, it might be done with. We have to fight back. So either we're going to lose really big, or we're going to win the map and push it onto a third one. Dennis in the middle here, actually almost in a bit of trouble, but there's no follow-up from Carrigan's push. And now Flusha holding close to the smoke. They're going to try and make their way through, and that flashbang is perfect. Well, look for the follow-up. Oh, and he gets that second kill as well. They had an entrance there.
And he's
gets snuffed away.
Whoa, bit of a team flash coming in. That's unfortunate. Dennis is going to be kicking himself. He just cost Olafmeister his life, but then they have the info. They know that Question Mark are fully committed to the site. Device is pinned behind the bench with the bomb, and JW's got the angle with the AWP. Now I think it's going to come down to Xyp9x to try and create some space here for where Device to work with, because Device only has the single flash. JW sees it coming, and now, well, yeah, Xyp9x, he attempts to get in here and flank, but Crims is watching his oppers back, and it just doesn't work. So the Gambit, it doesn't play out the way Question Mark we're hoping for here, and this is the real scary moment. Random headshot from Carrigan with that Tech 9 could just ruin Dennis and lose Fnatic mid control, but the fact that Dennis holds his own, keeps his cool, and lands the spray, that just makes such a huge difference for Fnatic in the defense. And
I mean, that pop flash that Carrigan puts through, it's just a little bit behind him, right? If it was a little bit further up, then probably Dennis would have been dead blind. But yeah, 3-1 and a good comeback into the game here for the Swedish side. They are playing this one very well. And Question Mark, they don't have the impact in the round that they needed to. The second kill for Olafmeister is so huge as well, because otherwise they probably just like run in there, get the bomb down, and then they at least have a chance to stay in the round. But double kill is too much. A nice grenade. Boom. Talk about a dunk.
That was like max damage right there. Ouch. Great prediction from Olaf. Dennis and Olaf are just going to be, well, doing big damage. Cajun actually finds the headshot on JW, so that's a little frustrating there for the Swede. But then they know exactly where Xyp9x is playing from. Flashes just go in, and Crims collects a headshot. So they should be able to save the AWP, and they just make it in time. There's Olaf with it. And actually, it's kind of up in the air as to whether he wants to hold on to it or not. Because they have said, I mean, they could even go for the double AWP play now. If they wanted to, they have the money on JW.
How cruel are they going to be?
Wow, no, he goes for the rifle. I'm surprised. I mean, why not go for the double AWP in this situation, in this round? Because, I mean, you can have that. I mean, there is an element of surprise there still. And question mark, they could get picked. Interesting choice.
Nice grenade there. Perfect. Right on the Danish side. And it's going to be some free damage essentially put in. Dennis also lurking in underpass, and he's going to go for the peek. Did he spot the shadow? I'm not sure what is happening here. Dennis doesn't get the frag. Parkour Counterstrike from Device there, but Dupree is going to fall, and still health advantage right now for the CT side. Bomb is being brought back, but this aggressive position from Olaf Meister means a B execute is going to be hard to hit. By the time they kill Olaf, there's going to be 2 more people rotated in here to try and stop them.
Well, there's still that man on short. Flesha is still hanging on short, so he can be here to support. He's spotting it to mid-connector. He doesn't see anybody there so far. As soon as Olaf Meister, as soon as they begin this push, only flashes to work with and a single Molotov, and not sure if that's enough for him to spot. Yes, it is. Wallbang in on occasion, but then Device is there to pounce, and now it's all on Flesha. Flash completely ineffective, and now he gets that first shot in. Xyp9x gone, Kerrigan and Device, the last 2 alive, and now it's just down to Device. Flesha crouching in the corner, just barely makes it out. Device battling as hard as he can, but it's a 1v2, and he's caught in a crossfire, and he will get caught by Flesha in the end. So, what a close round. Flesha lives on 1 HP, Anders. That's how close it was there for Device. But this is just silly.
Yeah, welcome to the Counter-Strike circus. Yeah, I don't actually understand why Olaf Meister didn't make it out of there. It seemed like that was just, like, that was almost his own fault. I think if he had just strafed to the right, he would have made it. But because he insisted on doing, like, some weird jump back there, he sort of ended up getting himself killed. Grenade goes out. This time it does next to nothing, but it's still a 5-1 lead here. And the Danes, they've got to get back into it. They need to find a way. Crims holding on the bomb site with another 2 members beside him. It's a very powerful setup for a default execute onto A, which is not right now what the TQM are doing. So they're getting mid-control, and they've got Cajun up here, and this is such a great position. VP used to run some excellent stretch exactly with this position where Snax ends up in the ladder room, and then they execute wherever they want, and Snax is always going to be useful no matter what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Just catching out the rotator if you want, holding onto information. You're close enough to hear the rotation through CT as well. I mean, that's a real nightmare spot. That's if they're stomping around. Crims is going to be falling back, though, just in case somebody decided to boost into window. He doesn't want to give that up. And Dupree still waiting, and this time he's going to start pressing forward because this is going to be a 3-way split onto the A side. Bomb is now waiting in pit here with Device. Xyp9x there to support him. Kerrigan up in the apartments. And, well, now it's go time. But they don't actually have any smokes. So it's all down to the rifle work, and Dupree, he wins out versus Crims, but he's down to 1 HP, and they catch the man looking the wrong way. Somehow, question mark, they actually pull this off. Cajun B catches Olaf Meister trying to rotate through the murder hole, and without a single nade thrown, question mark, actually get out onto that A site and win it. That is ridiculous.
And it's probably almost only possible if Dupree actually wins that first fight, right? But after Dupree wins the fight, then Cajun's position becomes so powerful. And again, if they hit B, it's valuable. If they hit A, it's valuable. It's always going to be a good position, which is why you don't want to give it up if you're on the CT side. That's why you need that mid-control. But as we've seen almost every round here, when Fnatic go into that window, the smoke is already in the air. It's going to land right as they come in. It's so tough for them to do anything there. Dennis had the one counter by running top mid, but we're going to have to see if Fnatic are going to try and change that. Something that's worth keeping an eye on here is if Fnatic are feeling threatened enough by losing mid control that they're going to change things around. What's the money like on Fnatic?
It's that old bug. There we go.
Not great.
Not fantastic, that's for sure. It's just enough for them to eke out a buy. But this is a big turning point here potentially for question mark. If they can win this round, Fnatic are going to be, well, basically broke. So we're into that double eco scenario if it happens. But Fnatic are so good at dealing with this, and, well, they're still fired up. So now it's all on the Danes. All the pressure here on question mark to follow this up, to chain rounds together, and they aren't wasting any time at all. The bomb isn't waiting back in T-spawn this time. All 5 members are ready here for question mark, and they're just going to go crashing onto this A site. This is all about timing, and there are currently 4 players on the A side right now, and Fnatic, they start off strong. Crims, he gets the headshot on Kerrigan, and the info, and Dennis is there with the double. Crims again, and now it just completely falls apart. What night and day, Anders. They succeeded in the last round, question mark, but this time around, Fnatic, they knew exactly what was coming.
I mean, it is almost like a coin flip when you do these kind of strats, right? You get the mid control, and you run into A, but you've got no idea how many people are holding there. So it could have been that there was only going to be, you know, 2 people, and that the other ones were sort of like doing something over at B instead. But yeah, bit too much of a coin flip in my opinion.
And this is, yeah, now where it gets a little tricky. Question mark now again, sending people into mid, 3 of them this time. There might be a challenge though, because Olaf Meister's lurking. He's up in ladder room right now, but he was on short. So he had a little bit of info to work with. Cajun B looking to get lucky through that smoke. He's not going to find it. And Kerrigan, very quick boost from him. He's waiting now, lurking in window room, and he spots out Olaf. But then JW's right on the spot to get the return frag. Not let it get out of control.
And a follow-up kill as well on Cajun, trying to take that over. So we see Fnatic actually with a direct counter to what was happening earlier, right? They want to defend that ladder room. They want to make sure that question mark don't get in there. And when they do, they trade effectively, and that's going to put them in a great position now. Over at B here, we've got another stronghold with JW and Flusher both on the site. And I mean, chances are TQM are going to lose a player just trying to get into the site. Flusher's position is very strong, especially if they sneak in like this.
It's nasty. It's really nasty. That smoke is completely ineffective. So now it's all about the damage done. And Flusher just surviving is good enough at this point. Because now JW knows what's going on. He spots at least 1 body up there in B apartments. And with 30 seconds left, oh, the timing for Crims to look away. Dupree comes up right behind him, hits that headshot, and now life is about to get a little tricky here.
Oh,
they decide to rotate around towards the A site.
Dennis is going to ruin this round for them. They have no time. If the bomb dies, that's a big problem. Dennis is here.
Yeah.
They're going to try and bring the bomb in. This is a heartbreaking moment. Just wait and see. Dennis, that's going to be the bomb going down. He actually sprays down both, but even just the 1 kill would have been enough with 5 seconds, 6 seconds left there. Great position for Dennis to hold, in spite of everything that they try to do, right? And it's so cool right here with Dupree. It's like in TQM's mind, Dupree opens up the A bomb side, right? That's what they're thinking. We've got A control now, let's go. We have enough time to bring the bomb to underpass. It's all true, except for Dennis.
Because they're expecting him to be playing in CT. They're expecting that rotation to come through there, but it just wasn't there. It wasn't happening. And well, question mark, that's going to put them on a hard eco pretty much, as close to hard as it gets. 2 P250s, that's all they have to work with.
This is looking like a very good first half here for Fnatic. Once again, it was 11-4 on Inferno. Turned out to be a bit of a tough situation. I think from Fnatic's point of view, it'll be easier on this map to find the terrorist rounds for them. Spray transfer there for Flusher, almost successful. Dupree, 1 tap away. He's gonna go down.
So quick from Flusher. Gets the rhythm right, figures it out. 3rd shot does the trick, and well, now, I think you're right, Anders. I think they're just gaining momentum now, Fnatic. And we haven't seen question mark really thrive in these kinds of situations.
Something I'd like to see here is a catwalk execute instead, which is something that question mark actually know how to do. They're not going to do this round, you can tell. Yeah, they have executes where they smoke window and catwalk, and then they sort of like flash their way through their own smoke essentially and go for it. I love to see something like that. Either that or they need to start winning some fights here. JW, is he set up to body block the smoke? I think he was, but it goes... Oh, actually...
That's a failed one.
Yeah.
He's got a gap to work with here. Does Kerrigan realize this? He has no way of knowing. Dupree checking the smoke could give it away, though. Or he could communicate that the smoke isn't perfect. He spots out short, doesn't see anybody. He's now worked his way up into connector, so it seems like that's the go-to play, at least as far as question mark are concerned. And he's going to get up right behind him. Hello, Crims. Awkward for a moment, but still. Oh, Dennis holds his own, though. He takes out Dupree instantly. Crossfire's been reestablished, but he decides to peek out, and Device is there for the headshot.
Sip with the kill on JW. This is a big round here for question mark. They can still have a good half here if they manage to break Fnatic's economy. It's going to get close now. Flusher with a nice shot, but Device will take him out. And, well, Olaf, he can't really do this 1v3. He's too far away. And that's going to be it. You see what Dupree was trying to do as well. He realized there might have been a guy in shadow, so he wanted to get so close that he could just like take a step back and turn around. And it's kind of nuts that Dennis is fast enough to actually get that kill.
Yeah, to react. That's the communication as well from Crims. I mean, Dennis obviously knows where Crims is playing from as well, but just that call out instantly. And that's all. That also explains why he didn't go for the knife, Anders. Because for that moment, you're like, is he going to knife? Is he going to try and mess with the mental game here of Fnatic? But that just wasn't the case. He decides to go for the double whammy, and it just didn't play. But still, Fnatic, they have more than enough money to go for the full buy, and this is where it starts to get fun. Dennis has gone for the Scar 20. So rather than go for the double AWP, Scar 20 works fine as well. And just this sort of situation, this is what we always talk about when it comes to the auto sniper. This long line from CT into pit. If they go for an A execute question mark, they're running right into a blender here. Just so much damage possible here for Dennis to inflict. And that bomb is still waiting back in T-spawn. So it really does make you think that question, eventually, they're going to go for the pointy letter.
Failed smoke there to top connector. That's a bit interesting, and Crims saw that as well. That smoke is supposed to go down in front of Crims now. Dupree, look, he's turning around and wondering, there's a smoke that's supposed to be covering me here. Crims walks right in and takes out Dupree. One failed smoke and a big opening for Fnatic. Oh, for so many reasons. That's actually a huge mistake. Now Sip and Karrigan are going to be left at 2 versus 5. Here's the problem, right? As soon as that smoke, he sees it, he knows that someone's going to be pushing. That's why you put down that smoke to give Dupree room. Karrigan is somehow trying to bring this back, and he's actually getting a triple kill and looking for the ace. Not going to be successful. Ends up dropping. But yeah, that is a huge giveaway. It's not often we get to see that. But one failed smoke lets Crims know that someone is coming, and it gives Dupree no cover at all. So, wow.
And Crims actually deciding to force that fight. It's a real pleasure to see the communication on point as well for Fnatic, just watching through Dennis's eyes, rather than you saw him just looking back, apartments, pit, apartments, pit, apartments, pit. It's not until the Molotov gets thrown and his teammates communicate that it's just like, okay, now focus on pit, get another kill, easy, just the lockdown just tightens up on that site. And well, that's basically worst case scenario here for question mark, because that resets their money. Cajun getting an instant headshot on JW is going to be pretty nice though. And that's an AWP picked up for Cajun. He's certainly capable of using it. We'll see if he can find that shot. Olaf on short, getting funneled in. He's got to be careful, and Flush has already rotated in.
Oh, this is a horrible position for Flusher as well. One kill and he's going to be gone. It's still possible to have a good half here. 9-6 would be a very acceptable finish for question mark, especially considering how everything has gone so far. Auto sniper here. They don't want to give anything away right now, TQM.
Woo. That's scary.
It's getting toasty.
That is not fun if you're Karrigan. He's going to get out of there. And while both players for Fnatic, they're not messing around. They're going to back right on off because their money isn't too fantastic here on Fnatic side either, actually. Some of these rounds have been pretty expensive for them. This back and forth, it doesn't really help. It's still possible for question mark to get at that 9-6. So we'll see how effective the Scar 20 is going to be in the next round, and Crims as well. But question mark, at least this time around, based off of just a huge entry. I mean, that's the main thing. It's just Cajun. He steps out. And he's basically a sacrificial lamb. It's either he gets the kill or he dies trying. And, well, this time it goes his way.
A big entry, and also something that actually I think TQM are guilty of a lot of the time, is not following up. This time they did. You know, it was an instant follow-up. No hesitation, no doubt about, you know, should we like just go in and run and get it done? And that was pretty important there. Smoke into the window. Crims defying it and pushing it. Look at the money for Fnatic here. This is a big turnaround. If they win this round, TQM, 9-6 could definitely happen. Crims already dropping a bit low, but the rest don't have a lot of money either. That grenade gonna chase him back. He's flashed as well. Crims is gonna be going down. Dennis with an important refrag. That's one of the two rifles here gone for Fnatic, and if TQM win this, there's probably going to be 9-6, so that would be a really big disappointment to Fnatic, I think.
And Dennis kills the Opper. He takes out Karrigan, so now JW has an op to work with here. Defense is consolidated on that A site for Fnatic with 3 players, and Flusher taking up a pretty forward position here in B apartments. They still have eyes on mid and just shots all over the place. You can see Dennis actually flipping out there a little bit, just like, where? What? It looks like question, they're going to be picking up that bomb, and they might, well, they're trying to make up their mind. A little bit of indecision there as to where they want to take it, but it does look like it will wind up on that A site. And this could be off of Cajun B making his way into connector. Olaf, there's a lot riding on him, shutting down that flank when it comes through.
Well, JW has an AWP.
Yeah.
This push could be shut down very quickly. Cajun setting up for the early here, flashing through once, and Wolfmeister in that corner, still close range with the C set. They've managed to get onto the bomb side without losing anybody to JW, so that's already a good start here, and he's going to burn alive as well. Sip with the kill, and now Dennis is here with the auto sniper. Takes down one, 15 seconds on the clock. Olaf charging in, C set in hand. It's going to be the round for question mark. They settle it all in the space of 1 second, and that's 9-5, and the money for Fnatic here in the 15th round. It's going to be absolutely dreadful. This is a very, very interesting first half that we've got on our hands here. If we bring up the scoreboard, how many rounds did Fnatic win in the beginning? Because they did have a pretty big streak, didn't they? At one point it was, what's that, 8-1?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, late, 2-5, no, 2-8 or something, I think.
Yeah, 2-8, and then the comeback began here for question mark.
Wow, 2-8, that's how far ahead they were.
No, yeah, exactly. They're not going to be too pleased about this situation, Fnatic. We'll see what they have in store for us here, because they do need to get in and do the damage. And, well, Dennis, Olaf, anything is possible when you consider these guys in Deagles. It's actually Olaf Meister, excuse me, with the gun. JW will find a kill on Device, though. That was on short, it looked like. Well, now, I mean, he's just decided to push right on up to top mid, JW. He's hunting for a gun. He wants to get in here behind Cajun B, and he really could pull this timing off. There it is. Thank you very much, Cajun. Now I've got an AK. They're getting picked off. Xyp9x himself is going to decide to step in here, however, and he removes Dennis. But then Krim's in the perfect spot here in Shadow to hold the line on the A site. Bomb hasn't rotated in quite yet, but it won't be far behind. And Xyp9x is stuck in the sandwich, only to fall to Krim. So now, somehow, Anders, this is going to turn out, well, Kerrigan clutching again, perhaps. Yes, 2 headshots. That's a fine start. 1v1 now, and JW not going to find it.
He's got the time.
And he's got the time exactly to make the run around.
I don't remember the exact timing, but I want to say it's like close to 21, 23 seconds, something like that, to make the run.
Can you think, like, the curse? Even if you don't say it, can the curse apply?
Yeah, it probably can. I think there was a lot of over-calling on question mark side here. I think there were too many people pitching in to say exactly where they might have been and what positions they were holding and stuff like that. So maybe a little bit too much speed and not enough leadership. Now it's Kerrigan in the back lines. He spots him out, and JW going to get it with the triple kill. And the half is going to finish 10-5 in Fnatic's favor, which got to be a little bit disappointing here to TQM. This was a very, very strange first half of Mirage. Because this could have been Fnatic finishing like 12-3 or something like that. So on the one hand, like both teams have cause to be a little bit disappointed, I feel like. So I don't know who's going to be most disappointed. Can we measure that?
Well, right now I think it might be question mark, because they might also be realizing that they could have taken it a little bit farther as well.
Yeah, and also because they're a map down, right? So like whatever disappointment there is might be like compounded.
The pressure is all on them right now, to be frank. And going into the second half, I mean, 10-5 is still manageable. If it's like 11-4, then you're really feeling the heat. 10-5 is a pistol and the next gun. If you get that, you can tie the situation, and then on CT Mirage, you'll be ahead. You'll have the advantage in that scenario. It's just you do have to give some admiration to question mark, just because they were able to get some big rounds in. I mean, sure, going into the 7th round, they won one and then they lost. Fnatic bring back 3 rounds, but then the next 2 that follow have to be against, you know, the big gun buys coming in from Fnatic. So question mark, they were still able to get some hard rounds in there. There was no well, there was a pistol for them to work with. Unfortunately, they lost the 2nd round. So.
Yeah, and what a big impact that had on the game as well, right?
Absolutely. That's where it could have really gone a completely different course if Fnatic don't win the 2nd force and then just chain a bunch of rounds together after that. Yeah,
because question mark do get 4 rounds after it, so if they got the first 3 as well, it would have been an incredible first half for them. Either way, we are in the second half here. Second map of this semi-final between Fnatic and question mark. Sip is going to be in the bomb site. He is alone, and there is an army of Fnatic players coming in. The fact that he's still alive is a bit of a miracle. He's looking for a shot. He has to get at least 1 kill here. Out of bullets as well, and they're getting so close. He's trying to reload. He does stay alive for a long time, and Kerrigan picks up a double kill, and somehow it's still working out. Device getting a headshot. What is this round, Semler? How on earth did Fnatic not just straight win that? They push a bomb site where one person is holding. That person is Xyp9x and he gets no kills. That's a perfect setup.
That it should be, right? They lose their flanker, Olaf Meister, in mid. Olaf was going to go over to that A site to try and draw some attention to the A site, make sure that question mark are guessing. But what worked out for question mark is that they pushed the pre up to top mid so early. Olaf Meister, not expecting that at all, has no impact. He gets killed immediately, and that's the go signal for Fnatic. Then they just try and run in there and YOLO onto the site. So it was just they had their hand forced. A question mark, man. They hit all the headshots there. Big props to Kerrigan for getting the 2 headshots to make the difference.
Yeah, well, that's obviously very important.
Now we have to see, can they survive, you know, this round? Can they not? Can they actually put, you know, the round together?
I'm going to go ahead and say yes already, but I think the next one is going to be a tricky one. This one, I think yes.
If you win both pistols and then proceed to lose the map, that's when question mark are going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
Because that'll cost you the series, yes, but you cannot afford to lose both or win both pistols and then proceed to lose the map. That is unforgivable.
JW trying to walk out of B or A apartments there. Trying to see if he can get something done. Not going to be happening. And Crims and Flusher are going to be left here. Not a lot to do. Again, with no armor and at this range, the aim punch is almost always going to settle it. But Device with a good quad kill. He seems to be really fired up as well. He seems to be getting into this game. 18 kills on him. Actually, he's top fragging.
Yeah, he is. Well, a fair margin. 2 kills over Dennis, who's had a few big rounds over on the CT side. But this is the moment now. Question mark. The second hurdle. The first buy coming in for Fnatic because of that bomb plant in the first round. They're going to be going straight into it with AKs. Very light on the nades, though. Just a handful of flashes and a single smoke on Flusha. So we'll see. They just have to get kills. And, well, Dennis removing Kerrigan's face to start is going to work out just fine for Fnatic. Now, they can actually start working their way back towards that B site because the bomb is currently waiting up there in apartments on JW. He hasn't been pushed by Xyp9x, and he's not hearing anything on short either. He hasn't heard anything apart from, well, that smoke going up. So this is just going to be one big explosive push coming out here from Fnatic to shatter the defense on this B side, it looks like.
What's even worse is when it happens, if Crims is still alive, as they rotate back from A, he's going to shoot them in the backs, and there will be no backup. So Crims actually sneaking out a little bit too soon here, and he's going to go down to Dupree. If Dupree checks apartments now, they might know, and they're going to know anyway now. Sip is going to call it in. There's a lot of trouble at the B bomb site. He gets that kill, even though it looked like his mouse was stuck for a moment, and Sip, he's going to go down. JW with a shot on Device as well, and a very tough retake ahead, and one that, yeah, not going to be worth it for them to try and go for it.
Yeah, Dupree can hold on to the AK. Cajun beat the M4, and it's just like that, Device not being able to back up on the Xyp9x at all as well certainly didn't help here for question mark. You would think if they had the 1-2 punch combo going there, Xyp9x picks up 1, Device picks up 1, 2-on-2 retake scenario, it could potentially work out, but it was just too quick. Even with a dunk nade as well. I mean, they just took a nade to the face, Fnatic, and still managed to just overwhelm the defense so quickly on that site. Yeah. That is one of the strengths of Fnatic. When they have that confidence, they move together as that unit. They just don't stop. It's like Envy in a similar way. They just move as this killing machine, and they may lose one part, you know, but then...
The famous 4-1 death ball.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
And they just don't stop. You know, Xyp9x takes out one, fine. Olaf is there to get the refrag, and then it just proceeds from there. So... everything going according to plan for Fnatic, and, well, question mark, they catch their heel on that hurdle, Anders, and just go crashing face first onto the ground. Now can they pick themselves up again and come right back into this race?
Smoke to top mid, and a bit of a grenade coming out there in counter to that. We'll see. 19 rounds into this game, Fnatic still with a lead, and because they win that round, they've put question mark in a very awkward position. Economically speaking, they're one round away from ecoing here, and I think that would push Fnatic to a bit of a victory. I think that'd be too much. They can't really afford to eco. Not now.
Quick shift of the positioning here, at least. Question mark with Kerrigan rotating over to that B site. He has that AWP now. Exactly, waiting, holding the window. And Xyp9x is rotated into hold mid. So they're staying light on their toes right now, question mark. Trying to dart around and see where they can find Fnatic, but Fnatic have given them, they haven't really given them a whole lot to work with, apart from perhaps, okay, there's a man top mid, putting shots in around. Where is the rest? Where are the rest of them? Dupree is going to go for that peek now. Okay, this is how question mark need to proceed. They need to start trying to figure out and see if they can't find some info here. And he decides to go into ladder room instead, so there is a crossfire established. Peek to bottom mid like that, but still not a whole lot of information to go off of here.
Cajun with a shot on Crims. That is a good start. The bomb making its way towards the B-bomb site. And Flusher coming in on Catwalk as well. They could be able to sandwich Carrigan, and he still lands that shot on Flusher. That is a bit ridiculous. Another one here. Carrigan looking for the triple. It's going to be Dupree to save it, and it will be nobody dying on the question mark side. That first shot on Flusher, that's ridiculous. He should have at least been dead, which would have probably bought enough time for Fnatic to get a bomb plant down. The fact that they don't, well, even with the bomb plant, they might not have been buying anyway, but it would have been close.
That was a remarkably quick rotation in from question as well. Just really fast support for Kerrigan. Even if he had gotten taken out, yeah, it's actually, you know, questionable as to whether they would have got that bomb plant and held it. There would have been so much pressure on them so quickly, and, well, nice dunk nade there from Cajun. Just removes Crims. And this puts Fnatic back into the hole. You can see they have to go for an eco now. They should be able to afford going for a buy in the next round, but that'll be another light buy, so not too pretty here for them. Question, though, I mean, they're doing a very good job, at least, of just holding without a whole lot of info to work with. Because, again, look, no challenge in mid for them. They've just given it up completely. They're focusing on the sites.
And they don't have any grenades to sort of pop flash themselves through here against Dupree. So, Flusher coming in with a flashbang, so maybe they could, but I think it's still going to be tough for them to try and make it through. They're going to lose too many players, I think, to have a big impact.
This should be a slaughter. Smoke goes in. There's the flash, close quarters. And Dupree turned away. They spot him immediately, but there's the crossfire coming into play. Xyp9x is here. He's holding close, however, and this could be a bit dangerous, especially when you got Tech9s coming in on him, but then Kerrigan is there to save the day. 2 very quick kills from him basically relieve the pressure on Xyp9x, and they do manage to hold there for question mark. So nice keeping your cool under those sorts of situations. A little bit unfortunate there for Dupree, but then, you know, sometimes just doesn't go your way. Fun to see that Xyp9x is so low on the kills as well. He really has, at least so far throughout this tournament, he's been the point man for question mark.
Yeah.
But he's having a little bit of a colder time here on this map.
11-9. Currently the setup here, Fnatic, not with a lot of money, which includes no AWP. We know how much damage Carrigan can do on a map like this, so right now they're not really able to challenge him, at least not on that front. That smoke going to be somewhat incomplete, which means Dupree has a bit of a chance to play the edge of it. And he's trying to do that device down and connector as well. This could be a really, really good setup for the question mark side, just because if anyone steps in across that line, they're going to be shot from 2 different angles. Device is falling back in the meantime, and are they hearing them up in ladder room? That's the question. Olaf is right behind Dupree.
This is just going to come down to silly timing almost, it feels like. Is Dupree going to get impatient, and when does Olafmeister decide to peek? He's waiting for Flusher, or no, he's waiting for somebody to actually, thinking CT positions for Fnatic for some reason. He's waiting for the man playing short, and well, Dupree's going to peek out and take Flusher down. Olafmeister looking to get a refrag on that. He's not quite going to find it. Nice flash there to stop JW from going for the jump shots as well. And well, so far, they're doing a very good job here, question mark, of staying alive. Xyp9x takes out the man holding bomb and pit. And there's the follow-up as well. Just frags coming in all over the place here for question mark. And it's going to come down to JW in a 1v4, but not for long. Xyp9x, once again, just calm, steady in these kinds of situations. Gets 2 kills, locks it down. And question mark, they continue to run this back. 10 rounds now on the board for them versus Fnatic's 11. And well, Fnatic with no bomb plant means another round of pistols for them.
I love the fact that they didn't really fight that much in the window there. No chance really for Olaf to get an easy kill on anybody. You know, they're just making sure that they are that they're not giving anything up. So 11-10 here, and a very, very impressive second half here coming out of the Danish side. Unlike their first half, which was very sketchy indeed. Nice shot from Olaf. Sip just eating that headshot. And he's going to look for a little bit more here. Maybe if they could get in and get the bomb down, that would certainly help a lot. Krims looks like he's going to be... No, they actually deny that. That makes a difference here for Fnatic.
That is, yeah, that's so frustrating for them.
Look how many people survive all of these rounds.
I mean, they do have that round bonus going, so, I mean, they've lost 4 rounds in a row, so they just barely have enough money to squeak by after a pretty hard eco, but that bomb plant would have been a whole lot going into the next round. Olafmeister with full nades, for example, but if they were to lose this one, then they could go for a backup buy, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, just now, it really is, you know, just Fnatic. They have to focus on this round, they have to get results, and Kerrigan decides to go in, and he catches Olafmeister bouncing around in top mid. So now it's going to be down to Dennis here to see if he can't bring it back, but if question mark plays correctly, they shouldn't really be giving any openings here to Fnatic. Device holding just out of range of JW. And well, there's Kerrigan to greet him. So Kerrigan, the impact that he's having here so far in this key round. 2 kills for him with the AWP. Make that a 3rd. Dennis can't get it back.
Yeah, Kerrigan on this map is ridiculous. I mean, it's just time and again, right? Even though they know that it's coming, they just can't really seem to stop him. And Krims locked in on the map. I don't know how he's possibly going to make his way out of this one. And indeed, he won't. That's going to be question mark overtaking and having the round lead for the first time in a very long time here. 12-11. They are a map down. If they were to lose this map, they'd be out of the tournament. And instead, they're fighting back.
And this is where we start to see Fnatic really struggle. What are they going to come up with on this map? Because as long as they maintain the momentum, everything's fine. If they keep the economic pressure up on question mark to the point where they don't have all the nades and the fun stuff, it's fine. But when it turns into a grind, Fnatic seem to be struggling just a little bit with their T side. So we do have, I mean, just 3 rifles is the force coming in here from Fnatic, using some of that money. And so far, things looking pretty good here. Krims actually managing to take off Cajun B. Dennis hits out Device, and well, they do lose a man to Kerrigan. 2, at the end, but now they have control of the A site. They have a smoke on Olaf as well, but he's in mid, so he can't really put that to good use. He's actually hoping to catch somebody exactly out in mid like this. And while dupreeh takes a bullet to the face, and a follow-up does the trick.
Sip with a pretty big task on his hands here. He's also going to be walking into a triangle. I'm not sure this is going to be working out. He gets a headshot on one, or actually just a spray down there. Down to 15 health. I mean, he could do some really good damage to Fnatic's economy, which is still pretty great. If he had a smoke, maybe he could even do more than that. Tabs it once, ready for Dennis, hits the headshot here. Is Olaf going to be close enough? He's walking in. Oh no, I don't think he's going to make it in time. Sepnix, oh, he's going to be Fnatic winning the round. That's so close. Must have been down to the last millisecond. The Fnatic do bring it back, but look at the impact though. Fnatic lose 4 players in that round. Obviously, question mark have money for days. They don't give a damn about all those rifles lost. Really big question is, I mean, if Fnatic lose now, they could lose the map.
If Fnatic, yeah, exactly. Question mark can just grind them out into non-existence. Scary thing here is that question mark, they only really have 2 guys with like 7K, right? And then the rest of them are kind of floating around that 2K mark, so it gets a little tricky for question mark as well. I mean, it's still not done yet for the Danes, but they've looked so damn good. It's hard not to believe that they can make this comeback happen in the second map and take it to map 3, where it will be pretty much anybody's game. Potential boost actually here into mid window. Kerrigan waiting in underpass. JW's been pretty consistent about hanging around here bottom mid. He's got Crims to back him, and hopefully JW doesn't push his teammate out into the open where Kerrigan's waiting. That would be awkward.
Kerrigan will need some backup. If he gets the first kill, they can try and get in here, and unless he's got someone in window or catwalk, it's going to be a little bit tricky. They're also pushing in on the A bomb side there, and they're going to take the first fight and win it. Caging going down, and Kerrigan, can he actually pick it up here? Damage put out there. Kerrigan going to go down. Second opening from Crim's device, finally with a reply, but is it too late at this point in time here? They've got, oh, okay, Olafmeister falls off the ledge and just straight into a headshot.
Well, there's the wallbang flush, just peppering bullets through. Device trying to dance around, can't get out of that, and now Zipmix has to back off to hold on to this gun. It is actually going to be fairly crucial going into the next buy here, so.
It really feels like Fnatic have said, enough of this, you know, delicate taking some mid-control and trying to build something on that. Let's just sort of go out a slope onto the A-bomb site and win those fights. And that's what they're doing.
And Carrick, I mean, even with the, and they do have, there is like a second stage to that, right? Because Crims and JW just sit at bottom mid for so long. And then that turns into that waiting game. So long as they get that kill, that's where it's really key for Kerrigan, because he's really counting on his point man on pit to just lock down that first frag if a push does come through. If he gets taken out, then Kerrigan has to worry about his back, and he just doesn't want to turn away from mid because he knows that somebody's going to be around there. So such a frustrating situation for him, really. If he could just be in jungle, then he'd have so much more room to work with. And it is going to be the buy here, of course, for question mark. No, but now we're really going to see, you know, backs to the wall. Because if Fnatic win this round, then it's, I mean, it's just like back-to-back rounds here, but this is it. This is pretty much the map in the balance. So let's see if Fnatic, they can keep their cool and get the job done, finish this in 2 maps, and get into that grand final tomorrow.
Okay. That was an interesting grenade from Device. If they lose this now after such an impressive second half, I don't know. I mean, that's going to be almost too much to handle, I reckon, for the question mark for the Danish side. Device up here in window, looking to try and see if he can maybe sneak a kill in on someone in middle. They are coming out of underpass with 2 players, but the bomb is over at B, so you got to wonder if they're just trying to make this look like a similar strategy to last time. They've also got a guy playing slope, so this could be a huge fake coming out right here for Fnatic. Just a way of trying to play off the last round. Device is in the corner, and JW walks right into him and goes down. That could have gone either way, I reckon. And bomb is now down in the middle again.
But Dennis, oh, he doesn't get much more than that. You think for a moment there that it might be possible with this kill on dupreeh. Device is hanging around just a second longer, and that second might be so valuable here. Flusha, though, decides to challenge in jungle with the bomb. If he dies here, that's pretty much it, because Olafmeister is very low on HP, and actually getting in there to get that bomb back will be tough. Look at how far back question mark are holding as well. Kerrigan does not want to overextend. He doesn't want to peek out and give a free kill. He's just waiting to hear that bomb tap go down. And with 25 seconds left, Fnatic are pretty much committed. They have to get in here, and well, it's all about Zipnix denying it, and Olafmeister hits the shot. Zipnix is gone, and now we're into a 2-on-2. And can Flusha actually get this bomb planted? Is Olafmeister going to be good enough? No, he turns his back to Device, and Flusha can't get his gun out fast enough to fend Device off. Question mark, they bring it back, and Anders, this is really turning into that tit-for-tat fight. It's almost a mirror of the first half. Just back and forth. A 5-round streak for question mark, then a couple of rounds go Fnatic's way, and now question mark back at it. 13-13 the score now.
24 kills on Device, 22 on Carrigan there, and on the other team, it's Dennis actually top fragging. So pretty good job on him on his part right now. Score is tied up at 13-13. Neither team has a particularly good economy, which means a lot is decided in this one round. Whoever is ecoing next is probably going to end up losing the game, or at least the map. If you're Fnatic, TQM, and they'd be out of the tournament if they don't make this map happen. So maybe a little bit more pressure on them.
Yeah, a little bit of the crunch time moment here. A little bit, and it's just it's just tension all out. And now they decide to go for something tricky. dupreeh changes it up. He's not pushing in from connector. Instead, he pushed off a short. He's going to get right up to top mid and spot nobody, but he is going to be close enough to hear that. He hears the rotation coming in from JW through CT, and he's going to be in position to catch out Olofmeister as well. This comes down to timing. If Olofmeister, he looks like he wants to go underpass, they have absolutely no idea that dupreeh is here, and dupreeh spots JW out for free. And he's going to spot the bomb. If he gets around that corner, he's going to spot the bomb as well. Does he go up, or is he really just going to hug behind JW? Yep, there's the execute, and there's the deny. Problems.
Wow, that's going to shatter whatever aggression was going to happen here. You know, as soon as that hack goes down, the whole push is gone. Wow, one kill there on dupreeh, and it was a huge impact frag.
Ah, and there we go. And the answer to this? Pause. Tack timeout from Fnatic.
I mean, when you do this kind of push, right, you obviously you call out a time. It's not like people go 3, 2, 1, go. You just say at 50-some seconds we're going, right? So everyone throws their grenades, everyone has their minds focused on that one push, and then suddenly your call comes in and says there's one behind us, and you know at that point in time it's done.
And what's worse is he's got the bomb. JW is carrying the bomb back there. I mean, dupreeh just played that perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, now, Fnatic have got to dig deep. They've got to find some kind of answer with a really tough economy. They don't have a lot of monster cash. This is really when Fnatic are going to have to show what they're capable of with the Deagles, with the Tech-9s. It's going to have to be some kind of force if they want to keep question mark off of map point. And it looks like Dennis is already committed to that force. So there is no question now. They're going to go for it, Fnatic. It's all or nothing, whereas question mark, they're going to have the money to fully equip themselves. And so far, their defense has been looking solid everywhere. And now Fnatic have to worry about these kinds of pushes coming up top mid. Just that thought in the back of their heads is going to probably put just a little bit more pressure on them and make it just a little bit more difficult for them to deal with the eventual execute that they're going to have to go through with here.
This is one of those scenarios where I keep thinking back to sort of, I keep thinking, what would Pronax do? Not to make him sound like Jesus or anything, but I think I feel like this would be one of those things where Pronax would try and like fake out a little bit and end up in the B-bomb side where like you use underpass as a way to get back and forth, right? So you create some noise in middle, you fake a little bit of action at A, you just have one person playing A and the rest in middle, and then you hope that you end up in a situation where there's only one guy holding B. You take the fight, 3 versus 1 against that guy and try and win it. With all the Tech-9s here, it could just be a straight B rush. And Sip is here, and there's also dupreeh. The rest of the backup is a little bit further away, though.
And they're just stomping all over the place. They're really trying to make this difficult for question mark to communicate accurately where they are on this map. They know that there are 2 bottom mid. There's already Carrigan scoped up and ready in case that boost came through, but they decided to change it up after getting the attention here in mid, at least. Device and Carrigan, you can see them bumping around, bumping around over here in CPL, trying to find the accurate setup. And Device is going to be the man left behind here with the rifle in case they try to charge up connector, but that's just not going to be it. It's going to be the straight up rush, and a perfectly timed anti-flash just grinds it all to a halt. Fnatic, they can't even actually make it out of here. Now the pace has been broken, and we've lost Olofmeister. We've lost the flank man.
Yeah. Sip close here with the rifle as well. This is a bit of a disaster here for the Fnatic team, but good refrag there. JW taking a kill as well. Carrigan gonna go down. Oh, Dennis turns around with the 180. Device is gonna be gone. What just happened? Dennis wrecking and tearing TQM apart. Cajun now gonna be alone in a 1-on-4. What a ridiculous round. That should probably not have happened.
Never.
I hope our analyst team is taking notes right now and getting ready to break that one down, because that's ridiculous.
They have to, yeah, because how do you get onto a site when there are 3 people there alive, ready and waiting for you? 3 CT players. They have the triangle already set up, and somehow Fnatic, they managed to get in between They just go for crazy headshots with those Tech 9s, and while Cajun's not going to be able to hold on to his gun, 3 guns saved here for Fnatic is ideal. But yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, 3 players and a 4th in Kitchen. So quickly in here, but Dennis just so fast, gets into the back line. Kerrigan misses his shot, and Dennis with 3. I mean, it's just individual performance from Dennis. All headshots with the Tech 9 in the back lines of that defense. Ridiculously fast. And all of that thanks to that smoke that was placed right in the middle of the site. He's able to run right through them and get behind Xyp9x and on top of Kerrigan.
Oh, wow. Nice leg shot coming out there. Kerrigan still on point in the middle. But this is obviously a very scary situation here for the Danish team. That kind of setup, you should be able to... They even saw it coming in. You're absolutely right. To set it all up, they even kill all of Meister. Was supposed to be in windows to flank all the rotation, right? They even do that. And yet they can't hold on to the round here. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah, just a touch frustrating here. Well, that flash now, Fnatic have got to be wondering, well, where did that flash come from? Yep, there we go. Dead on. And Olaf doesn't peek far enough. Oh my god. No, what? What was that? The fallback headshot on Dupree? Olaf Meister should have been dead 10 times over.
Yeah. That was a bit unorthodox, you could say.
How does the...
Well,
right. Well, that's the frag that's going to make a difference.
Look at the clock here. They kind of have to go for the B-bomb side with 30 seconds. Otherwise, they're going to need a really big opening. So I'm not sure what Flush is doing right now all the way over at A. He needs to get back here, try and help out his team. Otherwise, this is going to get a little bit weird. Sip walking right in and C-set on Olaf. Crims with a refrag, but that also gives out the bomb position. Kerrigan now alone in the site, and he drops the Crims. And this could very well be the round. 10 seconds left. Device and Cajun are going to try and see if they can obviously retake this. They kind of need to do that. Otherwise, they're giving away too much to Fnatic. Cajun, here's the rotation coming in there. He knows that 1 player is up, but there's still another 2 to deal with. And they're going to give it up. Wow, they're going to play for overtime instead.
They're playing for overtime, yep. They don't have enough. They have a single kit on Cajun, but then he hears, yeah, exactly, Flush up and it'll be apartments. Flush can buy too much time. And then you still have Crims, who did it the hard way, no less. Kerrigan is set up to watch for Crims on short with the AWP, and somehow Crims wins that fight? Kerrigan is going to be kicking himself.
And I think Crims had the bomb as well, so I think if he goes down, then that's a very weird round for Fnatic.
Ladder, rip. I mean, there's a little bit of an exchange going on between Dupree and Olaf Meister right now. But yeah, this, okay, we're going to see it again. He should have, like 100%. What is that? What is that?
I don't know.
That's just, well, ugly and beautiful all at the same time.
15-14. It's right now match and map point for Fnatic. Question mark, if they win this with a very limited arsenal, then they're going to get into overtime. Have we had any overtimes here at the playoffs at all?
Yes.
Did we? Which one? I forget.
Not in the playoffs, no.
Well, Dupree is going to be going down. That is a big opening. Sip not able to get the follow-up. And now Fnatic, they smell that victory. They're 4 kills away. Sip trying to stay alive. He's going to go down. It's JW. Grenade on Device. And, well, Semler, I think this is going to be it. Cajun and Kerrigan, what could they possibly do in this position?
It's the perpetual struggle, Anders, and it's looking like, well, it's not done yet. 2v5. Cajun gets caught by Olaf, and now it's going to be on Kerrigan, and he's got a 5-7. He's playing the game hard mode. He's just going to be charging his way in here, hoping to get lucky and flush out. Well, there we go. That's going to help. And Flusha donates an AK. Useful tip, but he doesn't have a kit, Kerrigan, so he really doesn't have the time. And Crims will be taking him out. 16-14 win for Fnatic on Mirage. They aren't able to pull it off, question mark. Another, this actually sums up their year. It's been a year of semifinals. And, well, they just haven't been able to get through in the last tournament of the year. Question mark will fall short of the finals yet again.
It is a bit crazy because the fact is they could have won both maps. I mean, if you just look at it, they could have had it on Inferno too, and they could have definitely had it obviously on Mirage. What an interesting game, and I mean, really interesting Counterstrike. I actually feel like on both maps, it's not like either side was like riddled with mistakes, but just a couple of small things, and Dennis showing up really well on this map. That was a crazy game from him.
Dennis, that's like the tournament round right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that round, when it's a force, there's no backing up for Fnatic.
Yeah, and they probably lose the map if then they play a third map, which I forget what was, but yeah.
And then he runs through a site with a Tech 9 and kills 3 people and wins it. There we go. Well done by Fnatic. That's pretty much what they live or die by, rounds like that. And once again, they managed to deliver. It's really fascinating to see that they're constantly capable of pulling this off.
Yeah.
And also equally fascinating to see that, you know, question mark, they still haven't figured out how to lock it down in these playoffs, getting deep into a bracket.
No,
they still can't just mentally lock it down.
Some piece of the puzzle is missing.
It's not
but,
there.
Not for Fnatic. And on the stage, we do have Sadokist ready with Olafmeister.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, a win again for Fnatic. TQM just couldn't measure up. Sean Gares actually highlighted it after game one, that a lot of it was just simply you guys out-aiming TQM. Your new lineup does bring in a lot of individual skill. What's sort of the mentality within the team? I mean, is this the direction you guys want to go now, is just straight-up brawlers?
Well, it's the direction we kind of have to go right now, because we haven't had time to practice at all. Like, we have like 2 days at home between the events, so it's kind of hard to go into any more depth tactics. So it's like, it's the direction we have to, and also the one we want to go. As we want to keep it simple, because we think and believe that we have one of the most skilled teams in the world.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt of that as well. I mean, you guys have dropped 1 series with the new roster. That, of course, was against Envious. We'll get to that in a minute, because you may have to play them again tomorrow. Oh, was it 2? I apologize. Okay.
We lost against them in Private Monsters as well. But we won against them next time, so maybe this time again.
I was there. I forgot all about that. You're right. Okay, either way, you guys now, with that skill and with that just straight-up ability, that comes down to the pistol round. Tech9 to win you a super important round from Dennis, and then you guys turned the game around. How many moments was there where it was really fragile, where you guys were a little bit concerned? I know Anders and Semler talked about during the timeout not having Pronex. Is there times when you feel like, okay, maybe this tactic doesn't work, maybe we need to find something else?
Yeah, but like I think it's always been the same. Like, we are a really good team to talk together what the other team does and what we have to do to adapt. So we took the pause and talked and we did it during the whole game as well, what didn't work. Like in the beginning we started playing slow, and we just noticed like, fuck, this ain't working. I'm sorry for the bad word. And we started to do a little more together and a little bit faster, and then we started winning rounds. And that round, Dennis really saved us and probably won us the game. I messed up. I was supposed to be on the boost, but I fell down. So,
wow, that's fair enough.
thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis did come up absolutely huge. Okay, let's get to that Envious point, though, because when you guys lost the best of 3 to them just a few days ago, there was a little bit of animosity within the team. I know Crims had a moment where he got a little bit upset. You guys were a little more silent than you normally are. Are you guys worried that if you do get on the back feet, it will be harder to climb back into series right now for some of the reasons we just talked about?
I don't think like it's harder to be louder when you're losing. Always been the same thing like for 1.5 years now. I don't know why people keep saying when we lose we're silent. Like it's the way we are and we always have been. Like it's harder to be more pumped up, I guess, when you are losing. And it happens to everyone. But yeah, I forgot the question.
Well, it was more, not even so much just after rounds, you know, being pumped, but just communication in general. It almost seems like you're internalizing a lot, like not expressing communication.
Yeah, it was a bad day, but they play good. You can't, like, Envious is Envious. Everybody can lose against them. They're a really good team. And we had some small communication errors, and some in our teams felt like they were getting really unlucky, like really key rounds when they were peaking somewhere, and like someone took a nade up, and then the whole Envious team came in. A lot of rounds like that. But I think they just outplayed us that time, but we learned a lot, and hopefully we can do it better tomorrow. If they win, they will say.
Well, that's my next question, because that's the next semifinal. Na'Vi, Envious, who do you pick?
I pick MS, and I hope MS, because I want to beat them.
All right, fair enough. I like it. You're out for blood. Thanks so much, Olaf. And we'll let you have the rest of the night off. We'll head back over to the couch one more time before we set up for our last game. Of course, that is going to be with Alex.
Thanks very much, Matt. And good words from Olaf, setting his sights on Envy. He wants blood, he wants that rematch, and we'll be talking about that a little later on. For now, though, we have to dissect a game that really could have very well have gone to 3 maps. 16-14, the final result, and a couple of key errors made by the Danes, and I think that's what we're going to kind of dive straight on into. That you were almost laughing when you saw that result, Jason.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, this is the weird thing about TSM or TQM. Even like looking at some of their recent VODs where they've struggled, it's like they don't necessarily do anything wrong, like as a team tactically, and just all of a sudden they just don't hit the shots. that should be easy kills. Like, what was that? That Tech 9 rush into the B bomb site by Fnatic. All the smokes are laid down. They have 3 people stacked at the bomb site. They had it red. They stalled the attack out for an extra like 5 seconds.
That's round 28.
Yeah, round 28. They had everything they needed to get done, and just all of a sudden, one Tech 9, one Mac 10 rushes through the smoke.
Here it is, right here.
I just don't understand how it happens.
How this is the most bizarre round I've ever seen. They're set up perfect for this.
Look at how much longer it's delayed. I look at Fnatic, they haven't even started moving
They
yet.
even have a
Everything's
4th guy here by the time the site hit happens.
It's Dennis, right? Dennis responsible for a lot of these frags. They've got to just pushes straight through the site, comes around behind, catches at least one, gets a second with his pistol for some unknown reason, and gets a third as well. Like,
it's just like you have so many bodies there. How's no one watching the site itself? Like Xibnix is watching the left side. I'm assuming the other player was watching the right side, and you have a third player over there that should watch right down the middle, and you even have a 4th player coming, and everyone just misses the main attack.
Yeah, it's crazy that Dennis just literally slipped through the center of the defense. And the craziest thing is Device crossed the window as the 4th guy coming there, thinking he had 3 guys in the site. But if he would have stopped, he would have seen the whole hit in front of his eyes. But he just assumed probably that the 3 guys in the site, there's no way that there's a guy right in front of me right now.
And that was, I mean, oddly enough, that was right after we talked about it. That was right after Fnatic took the pause. That was the round that's what they came up with in their pause. And just for whatever reason, that pause comes in, and like everyone on the other team, like no matter who it is, just seems to like their monitors off or something for a round.
Where is that stat? Somebody, please.
Even the next
do it.
round.
Crunch the numbers.
The next round, the 29th round.
Equally heartbreaking.
When 2 guys go in the ladder room, and it looks like, was it Dupree in the ladder room was about to get a double kill, and Olaf just pulls out his Colt and just like whip falling one-shots him.
What is this?
He's been watching Wanted and just curved the bullet. Like,
what?
every time.
I don't get it.
No, but these are the rounds that...
And then Kerrigan misses like 3 shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the rounds where TQM, if this was not a close game, if this was round 8 or something, Kerrigan would now miss these shots.
He was being a beast up to that point.
Kerrigan was lights out the entire match. This is the only round that something like that happened. And it's just the round that breaks their money and causes.
But to be fair though, like in reality, yeah, this game was close. TQM won 4 out of 4 pistols. Yeah. And they still did not win the game, right? So then, yeah, it might have seemed close, but in reality, Fnatic just outplayed them.
That's actually an incredibly good point. I mean, we've been making that criticism about other teams, you know, you need to start winning pistols. Hell, TQM have got that bit under lock and key. It's the rest that seems to be causing them some problems. And so, I mean, the curse is real, guys. This is actually becoming a genuine problem where the semifinals seems to be the final stop for XTSM, now TQM, and they seem to be able to kind of get to the semis in quite some style, and then I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, they were struggling. They have been struggling for the past 2 months, right? So that's just not... I don't think it's just because of the semis. They were struggling for CLG as well, and Mirage. Yesterday, coming into this tournament as well, they have been struggling. That's why I noted before, even the game started, that if this was an old TSM 2-3 months ago versus this Fnatic, or ex-TSM, they would actually ended up winning this game. But yeah, you know, it's the last tournament of the year. I'm probably burnt out a little bit. Need some time to recharge.
And that was going to be my next question. So let's turn our attention to them for a second. What does need to change? You know, this is becoming. You said it 2 months ago. So like 2 months have passed. 8 weeks of this team not looking the best. There's been a whole lot of events in those 8 weeks. Of course, you know, this is CSGO in its current climate where we just cannot stop having events. Is a break all they need, or is there something else? Is something more severe needed?
Not going to take too much into consideration the past 2 months. Yeah. It's just been so much, right? You don't even have time to go back and recharge, go through what's going wrong. You don't have time for that. You just keep on grinding. And then obviously, if you do end up having a problem, you don't have any time to fix it. Yeah. So now it's going to be great for them. I mean, for every team. You can come back now after this tournament to just recharge, go over some stuff, come back to the new year, and just have some new stuff. Yeah.
That's something we've seen actually Fnatic do really good at. They're one of the teams who like tournament. They'll be in a tournament and they'll win it and they'll go home and they'll just say, all right, we're done for 2 weeks. Like everyone go do whatever you want. They take a massive break. Even if there's another tournament coming up, they're saying it's much more important to just recharge the batteries than, go over anything or just beat Counterstrike into our brains. Just go do whatever you guys want to do for a while and come back fresh.
Step away from the keyboard.
Yeah, you have to also take into consideration they're probably dealing with a lot of different scenarios right now than they're used to in their normal practice schedule. They just got rid of their org, which they probably had to go through negotiations to get out of their contracts. I don't know what they did to get out of them. And then...
No, they only signed for a year.
But they weren't even on TSM for a year, were they?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that was
right
the end
after
of the contract.
MLG, so they were ending in like a month or something like that.
Yeah, so they still got out early.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know how they did it. But yeah, now
you want tips?
they're probably putting out feelers to they're probably putting out feelers to other organizations and stuff like that. All right, back to you, Alex.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, damage control. Popular topic at the moment. Let's go ahead and get some excitement building for our next game. Let's just kind of let's close that chapter as we have now waved goodbye to I mean the team that topped the table. I mean you looked at how their performance in the online stages, 18 wins to 4 losses. That team was nigh undefeated really in the online phases. 22 games played and they've turned and fallen at the semi-final stages. Now that we have to turn our attention to our next game, and it's a big one as well. We're going to be seeing Navi and Envy face off. Fnatic already have kind of signed the papers to start playing Envy in the final. They've set their targets on that, and Navi, of course, standing in their way. Jason, set the scene for us before we dive into this one.
I mean, this is Envy the last major winners. And then Fnatic wins the last 2 events. This is kind of like, it's kind of like the champions that we have crowned right now against the champions that you could make the argument for that they're the best team in the world. And then even, to go against Navi as well. Navi's been so good the past like 2 to 3 months. They've always had like that up and down. But like leading up to the major, they're playing pretty well, and then at the major they get to semis, and ever since then they've just been like one of the top 3 to 4 teams in the world, and they've been beasting. So I mean, there's a lot, like all these last 3 teams are just incredible. This is going to be a crazy match. But I think everyone's kind of itching for that Envy versus Fnatic grand final, but I don't think anyone would be disappointed to see Navi in that.
I think it's like a perfect ending to the year, right? The 2 best teams in the world just battling out in the best of 5.
I mean, Navi, no stranger to a final as of late. They could potentially secure that final spot again. This definitely is going to be no easy task for either of the teams. Sean, you want to kind of lay it down for people at home?
Yeah, everyone seems to be granting Envious an auto berth into the finals. I just want to remind people that Navi were in the finals at Cluj against Envious, and some of their favorite maps are Train and Overpass, which are maps that Envious typically don't play. And Envious did beat Navi on Train at the major, but in my eyes, that was a very lucky match for them. And I don't know if they could replicate that. So I would almost give a free map to Navi in this best of 3 right now. And knowing Envious's map pool, we'll probably see like maybe like an Inferno or a Mirage also in there.
Okay.
They might decide to leave Dust 2 in. Navi could pick Dust 2. But
sounds like there's a lot in the air when it comes to the veto.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be getting answers for all those questions that Sean has posed after our break. And before we do so, again, I'm going to remind you guys about the Score esports application. Grab it on your smartphone. You can also do it on your browser. If your phone isn't to hand, get over on your browser and head there as well. And you'll be able to get both articles, there's highlights, there's video clips, everything you need to get that esports fix. For now, though, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, it's our final game of the day. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be the French up against the CIS Beasts Navi. Don't go anywhere.